Here we go, Bobby Maximus live. I am here on Muscles and Magic the Gathering. I am the Muscles Bobby Maximus. These cards, these are Magic the Gathering. And we are here tonight because I want to talk to you about cards that you can include in your commander deck that are honestly going to help you a lot, but they have to be budget cards. So that's going to be what we are going to talk about tonight. It's good to see you again. I go live almost every single Wednesday night, so make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on so you can get notified when I go live. And let's celebrate a game that I've loved for over 30 years, a passion of mine, Magic the Gathering. Now, what I have here is a stack of cards we're going to look through. We are going to talk about budget cards in Magic the Gathering. I'm just going to get my other computer kind of queued up right now so I can look up some prices for you. And we will get started. By the way, any questions you have, I am more than happy to answer. All right, so make sure you answer your questions, get your supers in, click the like button, leave me some comments. Let's help out the algo, and let's go. All right, let's talk budget cards. First one I want to talk about is something I call, well, not something I call, something Wizards calls Lauren of the Third Path. Vigilance, and when Lauren of the Third Path enters the battlefield, destroy up to one target artifact or enchantment. You and target opponent each draw a card. Currently, Card Kingdom has this card for, let's go Lauren of the Third Path. Has this card for $4.49, $3.99. Brothers War variant is $7.99. That's not exactly budget, but the Brothers War version of it, non-foil, is $3.99. So a budget card. Now, why do I like this card so much? A couple of reasons. The main reason is removal. You don't run enough removal in your commander decks. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You have to be able to get rid of people's big, beefy things, right? So the artifact and enchantment removal, not enough people play those types of removals. Think about the enchantments that you have to deal with in a game. Rhystic Study, Smothering Tide. Now, those are small problems, right? They may seem like big problems, but they're relatively small. What happens when someone slaps a Kenrith's Transformation on your commander and turns it into a 3/3 elk, and you have absolutely zero commander abilities anymore? If you don't have enchantment removal, your commander might be gone for the game. What happens if they use an Imprisoned on the Moon or Imprisoned in the Moon on your commander? What happens if they use a Darksteel Mutation? Like, these are cards that can be extremely problematic. So you want to make sure you have some enchantment removal. As far as artifact removal goes, there will always be a Soul Ring, always be an Arcane Signet, always be a One Ring, always be an Agatha's Soul Cauldron, always be an Ozolith. There will always be something that you need to get rid of. The second reason I like this card is the group hug aspect. It's really underrated, the politicking at a commander table, right? Especially in a game of 4 people. This allows you and a target opponent to draw a card. You can make friends. You can have an ally. I don't care how good your deck is. It's almost impossible to take on 3 other people. So you got to have a friend or a buddy in your commander game. Lauren of the Third Path helps you politic. So I really, really like that card. Another budget card that I absolutely love, Lightning Bolt. I'm going to check this out on Card Kingdom right now just to make sure we know what we're talking about, but I'll bet you can get this for under $1. All right, $1.99, $2.49, $1.99, $2.23 budget card. This is one of the best removal spells in Magic the Gathering. Now, traditionally, it's not a removal spell, but in the day of power creep, when people have Drannith Magistrates, people have Grand Abolishers, people have Voices of Victories, people have Esper Sentinels, this is a great card to kill somebody's creatures at instant speed. And at the very least, you could do 3 damage to somebody, which sometimes is enough to actually win the game. We have a question here. Do you have any colorless artifact decks? If so, which commander do you run? I've been running Karn Legacy Forge. So I currently have 1 colorless deck. It's an Eldrazi deck. The commander is Emrakul, the Promised End. My artifact deck, I've got actually 2 artifact decks. One is a mono blue Urza deck. One is a 4-color Brea deck. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Karn Legacy Reforged is actually a really, really good card. I wonder if I actually have one here. Here's a giant stack of artifact cards. Let's take a look to see what I have, and then we'll go back to our budget cards. Hexavis, Arcane Proxy, Pyron Statuary. So I'm just going to kind of rifle through these. And let's see if I just have a Karn Legacy Reforged laying around. I might. We've got some great cards here. Capitoline Triad, really, really like that card. That's actually a really, really fun commander to play, by the way. I've heard a lot of people really, really enjoy that one. Let's see what else we have. I'm just going to go through this. Ooh, Excalibur, Sword of Eden. It's a good one. Oh, not the right one. We have a Karn Living Legacy. We have a Karn Liberated. We might have all the Karns, just not Karn Legacy Reforged, all right? We have another Karn Scion of Uza. Come on, please have a Karn Legacy Reforged. This is kind of my extra pile of decent artifacts, usually like golds or, mythics. Bunch of swords here. We have the Sword of War and Peace. We have the Sword of Forge and Frontier. We have the Sword of Feast and Famine. Great card. Come on, Karn, where are you? Let's see. We're looking for a Karn Legacy Reforged, and we did not have it in this pile, but I have another one right here. All right. Sword of Once and Future. Karn the Living Legacy again. We need Legacy Reforged. Oh, by the way, if you're going to have a colorless artifact deck, I hope you have a Mystic Forge in there. Really, really good card. I hope you have an Ujin, the Ineffable. Colorless spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Great way to cheat out some cards a little early. What else do we have here? Market-back Walker, Mystic Sword, Radiant Lotus, another great card for an artifact deck. Ujin the Spirit Dragon. Great card for an artifact deck. And no, I do not have a Karn Legacy Reforged, but it is a good commander. I like the Capitoline Triad. If I was going to do it, I would probably built it around that. But Karn Legacy Reforged certainly works. All right. Let's get back to budget cards. So for those of you that are just joining, we were talking about Lauren of the Third Path. You do not play enough removal in your commander decks. You need more. This will get rid of an artifact or enchantment, right? And especially the really bad enchantments. Like, I'm not that worried about a Rhystic Study or Smothering Tithe, but I am worried about a Darksteel Mutation. I am worried about a Kenrith's Transformation. I am worried about an Imprisoned in the Moon. We have Lightning Bolt, incredible removal spell at instant speed, 3 damage to any target with power creep. This is very, very valuable. Another way to get rid of an artifact, Vandal Blast. Now, this card you can get for under $5. Not this version of it, but all the cards work the same. I just like the fancy versions. Here's the deal. You want to be able to get rid of artifacts. I don't care if it's a Soul Ring, an Arcane Signet, an Agatha Souled Cauldron is super underrated and can be super problematic. So make sure you get some artifact removal in your deck. Trust me, you're going to need it. Crop Rotation. It is a game changer. Now, I didn't understand why this card was so good, but I do now. A lot of people, tutors are really, really important in the game. There's 3 aspects to a commander game that you really, really need to pay attention to. 1, card draw, right? The more cards you can draw, the better you're going to do. Especially in a game of Commander, like even a long game of Commander these days is like 9 or 10 turns. The more cards you can draw in those 9 or 10 turns, the better your chance to win. The second is mana ramp. You want to be able to mana ramp. The quicker you can play your spells, the quicker you can get stuff out, the better. And the third aspect in a Commander game that's really, really important is tutoring. This is arguably the greatest land tutor of all time. At the time you play crop rotation, sacrifice a land. Search your library for a land card and put that land into play. Shuffle your library afterwards. So in a 5-color deck, this is great for mana fixing. You need a swamp, you can go get a swamp. You need an island, you can go get an island. You need a mountain, you can go get a mountain. But where it really, really shines is going to get one of these utility type lands that you really need. Think Gaia's Cradle. Think Urza's Saga, which will allow you to then go get an artifact. Think something like an Inventor's Fair. Think something like a Wasteland. Crop rotation for a card that's $3.99 is incredibly valuable in your decks. And I think right now it's the cheapest game changer. And listen, if it's on the game changer, some people they put down the game changers list, or they'll argue about, yeah, that's card's not that great. Listen, if it's on the game changers list, the committee that put that together, I promise you it is a really, really good card. So go get as many crop rotations as you can. Along those lines, Farseek, you can get this card for under $1. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card. Another really important card, because if you can cast this, you know you have a forest. But the fact you can go look for an island, a swamp, a plains, or a mountain, again, it's going to help you with mana fixing. One of the meanest, nastiest cards in the game of Commander, the Pithing Needle. And talk about needing artifact removal. Talk about power, right? This card is extremely underrated. As Pithing Needle enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. This is huge. This shuts down a Soul Ring. This shuts down an Arcane Signet. This shuts down Jan Jansen, Chaos Crafter. This shuts down Lathril, Blade of the Elves. This card right here can shut down so many commanders or cards with activated abilities. Really, really underrated. I was on a show called Tabletop Jocks. Really good guy, Ben Bateman, was playing his Jan Jansen deck, and this card won the game for me. Brennan Roy, my friend from Utah. Good to see you. I will warn you, we are going to get a game together. Maybe at Paragon City Games, maybe at Game Haven, maybe at the Nerd Store. I do play a lot of unfun cards. I'm just warning you, there's no banned list in my world. But Pithing Needle, great card to shut people down that you can get for under $1. Deadly Dispute. I'm going to teach you where this card shines, right? It is an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. Where I use this the most is I'm playing against you. You use a Swords to Plowshares. You use a Path to Exile. You use a Deadly Rollick to come at me. Get rid of one of my creatures. I will sacrifice it first. The creature's going to go away whether I use a card or not. You played that Swords to Plowshares on it. I will cast this, and at instant speed, I will remove that creature, and then instead of just the creature dying, I forced you to use one of your removal spells, and I draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. Brandon Roy, if you want to get some other unfun cards, you are in the right place, because I am a very unfun individual. Phyrexian Arena. You can get this card for under $4. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and lose a life. I promise you, in a game of Commander, it is always, always, always worth trading a life for a card. Phyrexian Arena, this has dropped in price over the years because of numerous reprintings, but this is as powerful as the day it came out. Now, arguably, the most unfun, the most oppressive, the most powerful common in Magic the Gathering history. The Mirkwood Bats. Every time I create or sacrifice a token, it does 1 damage to each opponent. So imagine I'm playing one of those decks with some token doublers, right? I've got an Academy Manufacturer on the board. Don't know if you're familiar with that card, but every time I make a clue, a food, or a treasure token, I make 1 of each. Then I make a food token, we'll say, or a treasure token. And because of that, I get 3 tokens on the board. Every time I do that, you're getting 3 damage. I sacrifice those tokens. Now you're taking 3 more damage every turn. Like, this can be an incredible damage multiplier. If you have a food token deck, if you have a treasure token deck, if you have a deck that's using clue tokens, make sure you have the Mirkwood Bats in it. It's the best dollar card you will ever buy in your life. I promise you that. All right. Here's another one, Fell the Profane. We talk about the fact that people don't have enough removal in their deck. One of the hard parts about building a deck, you'll see people with these templates. You need 38 lands. You need 12 removal spells. You need 5 counter spells. You need 30 creatures, blah, 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 blah. You add all those little template numbers up, you're way over 100 cards. This is one of those double-sided cards. It acts as a land. It also acts as a removal spell, and a pretty good one. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. So that is a great, great value add. Now, randomly, I have another stack of cards. Let's go through these and see if we can find some unfun cards for our friend Brennan, or we can find some value cards. Expropriate. Great card. Wouldn't call it a value card, though. Black Market Connections, not necessarily a value card. Sanguine Bond itself is a value card, but to really make this do work, you need an exquisite blood, so not really a value card. I mean, this by itself is it, but it doesn't work without that other side. Yawgmoth's Bargain. Love this card, but definitely not a bargain card. March of the World Ooze. Beautiful printing of it. Not a bargain card. Pitiless Plunderer. That's a bargain card, and that goes hard in a lot of decks. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. Look at the synergy with this. Mirkwood Bats. If you can sacrifice a creature token, if you have a sack outlet, something like a Phyrexian Arena, not a Phyrexian Arena. What's that card called? I should know this, and I've got it somewhere here. Actually, let me look in this Muldrotha deck, because I know I have one here. Sometimes I forget the card names. I wonder if anyone else suffers from that. Let's look here. Ashnod's Altar is one of them. I know that. Oh, Phyrexian Altar. That's what it is. Sacrifice a creature. Add 1 mana of any color. You could sack a creature. This, you create a treasure token. Treasure token will do a damage to another opponent. Then you sack that treasure token. It does another damage. So, great card there. All right, what else do we have? Let's take a look at this stack. This is kind of fun, by the way. I love just going through cards. Nautiloid Ship, not a bargain card. Prophet of Krufix Band, so not a bargain card. Little board wipe here. Aetherflux Reservoir. Time Sieve. Putrefy. Yurga, Eater of All. Season of Loss. Grief. Decree of Pain. Ancient Silver Dragon. Definitely not a budget card, but one of my favorite cards in Magic the Gathering. Hullbreaker Horror. Subtlety. Brazen Borrower. Archmage's Charm. I think I'll count that as a budget card. Let's look up what that goes for. Arch. And by the way, I love Card Kingdom for looking up card values. I've really been a Card Kingdom fan for a lot of years. Man, this card's $1.49. Look at this. Choose one. Counter target spell. Target player draws 2 cards. Gain control of target non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. I promise you these options are all good in a high-stakes game of Commander. The Whip of Erebos, the Blasphemous Edict, the Hullbreacher, free Gristlebrand, all right? Deadly Dispute, we talked about that. Here's a great budget card. Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor, and this has really, really come down in value over time just because of the reprintings. The Tarkir Dragonstorm version of this you can have for $3.99. The reprinting in Tarkir Dragonstorm really drove the value of this down, but look at this card. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, they draw a card. So that's you. You have this card. You do damage to somebody with this, you get to draw a card. Then if you pay all this mana, discard X cards. Exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play lands and cast spells from among the cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. This card is incredible value and does real work. Like, even if all you do is cast it, do a little bit of damage, and then draw a card, it makes it worth it. All right? Just something to consider. Vampire Hexmage, Mummioplasm, Revered One, Psychic Frog. What does that go for these days? That is a great card. My guess is it's not a budget card. Yeah, $11.99. Not a budget card, but a great card nonetheless in any commander deck. Drivnod, Tevish Stat, Fumulus, Savra. And if you wonder like why these cards are here, I'm actually building a Muldrotha deck, which I'll share a sneak peek of here during this live. But I've been looking for cards to put in that deck, to put together. Experiment Kraj, Urborg Scavengers, Victimize, Urborg Lurgoyf, Sylvan Safekeeper, love that card. Let's see what else we got. Jared Golgari. This card's useful in a lot of decks. Tachiova, Benthic Druid. Whenever a land you control enters, you gain a life and draw a card again. Card draw in Commander is super, super important. So I really, really like that card. Scarab God, Death Broom Ritual, Golgari Guildmage. I'm just kind of looking through these, trying to find some budget cards that I think are really, really good. What else do we have here? Temporal Mastery, great extra turn card. Guardian Project, really, really good green card. I wouldn't call it a budget card, but really, really good green card for your commander decks. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, draw a card. In a game of Commander where you have 100 unique cards in your deck, this is super, super, super good. We have a Scroll Rack, we have a Blasphemous Edict, we have a Lotus Ring, and we have a Commander's Sphere. So, some great cards there. Got some budget work in. But let's talk about my Muldrotha deck, and we'll see some budget cards in here too. So my Commander is Muldrotha. All right? So once a turn, you can get a card from your graveyard, basically. I'm going to read the English version for you because I cannot read the Japanese version. Muldrotha the Gravetide. Here we go. During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a permanent spell of each permanent type from your graveyard. If a card has multiple permanent types, choose one as you play it. All right? So that is Muldrotha the Gravetide. Really, really good card. Fun commander to play. So I tried to include a lot of cards that had some graveyard synergies, right? We got Kaya's Ghost Form. Enchant creature or planeswalker you control. When enchanted permanent dies or it's put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Pernicious Deed. Sacrifice Pernicious Deed. Destroy each artifact, creature, enchantment with mana value X or less. Great to send a bunch of things to a graveyard, and then I can recast them using Muldrotha. Old school card, the polar opposite of budget, Intuition. Search your library for 3 cards, reveal them to target opponent. He or she chooses one, put that card into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. The card like Muldrotha. This is a win-win-win. Kind of like a better version of Gifts Ungiven. Bolus's Citadel. Entomb. Get a card into my graveyard using my library. This acts as a tutor. Really, really good in a graveyard deck. Buried Alive. Same kind of thing. Search your library for up to 3 creature cards. Put them in your graveyard. Then shuffle with Muldrotha. This is a monster. Animate Dead. Great way to get stuff back from my graveyard. Psychic Frog. Great way to put cards in my graveyard and get a 1/1 counter and be able to draw cards. Demonic Tutor, always useful. Mana Crypt, yes, I play with banned cards. Don't at me about it. The Grim Flare, love the Grim Flare, a bit of an old school card there, or older school. Tival's Judgment, really great card from the new Tarkir set. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Again, card draw. You see that card draw feature? Create a treasure token, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. Sensei's Dividing Top, Deadly Rollick, Reanimate, Vampire Tutor. Another card from Tarkir, Dragonstorm. Whenever Taval attacks, mill 3 cards, so it puts cards into my graveyard so I can get them back with Muldrotha. You may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, super useful. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. Awesome card. A Cursed Marauder. When it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a non-token creature. So if I can keep getting this back from my graveyard, this is going to do a lot of work. That's also why I put the Reclamation Sage in there. Continually use it as a removal spell. Same thing as the Ravenous Chupacabra. When Ravenous Chupacabra enters, destroy target creature an opponent controls. I got a Notion Thief in here. I got a Gitrog Monster. Like, this deck is looking really, really good so far. We have a Sir Conrad the Grim, the Mimeoplasm, Oko Thief of Crowns, arguably the greatest planeswalker of all time. And I think that would qualify as a budget card. What does that cost right now? Man, you can get the Thunder Junction one for $6.49, and I would actually call that a budget card for $6.49. With how good this card is, it is incredible. I don't know how familiar you are with Oko, but let me break it down for you. You can create a food token, but look at this second ability. Target artifact or creature loses all abilities and becomes a green elk creature with base power and toughness 3/3. Just end somebody's dreams by turning their commander into an elk. What a beautiful card this is. Speaking of really good planeswalkers, get this for under $1. Narset, the Parter of Veils. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. The best card you can get ever for under $1. King Axes. Oko's such a nasty card. Everyone at the table gets salty when it comes out. Immediate removal. You're right, I love it, but why do they get salty? Like, people get salty about so many cards. What are we going to do? Ban everything? Like, I just want to play the game and have fun. All right? But Narset, Parter of Veils, great budget card. Here's a budget board wipe. Toxic Deluge, another great card for the price. It's come down in price over the years. Crop Rotation, we talked about this earlier, and the value of having a tutor. I do have a Navinral's Disc in here. I want to use a lot of board wipes in the Muldrotha deck. White of the Reliquary, Endurance, Ren and Realmbreaker, Soul Ring, Altar of Dementia, Recurring Nightmare, Liliana's Death's Majesty, Swiftfoot Boots, Tarmogoyf. He's come down a lot in price. Love this card. Mazarek Crawl, the Death Priest. These all have a lot of synergy with Muldrotha in case you want to build a Muldrotha deck. Lotus Petal, Grave Pact. Whenever a creature you control dies, each other person sacrifices a creature. Beautiful land. Ashnod's Altar, Arcane Signet, and we have some lands. So that is my Muldrotha deck that I am starting to put together. What I want to do is sacrifice a lot of creatures, force my opponents to sacrifice a lot of creatures, and then wear them down. I wonder what else I have here to look through. Do we have any other fun? Ooh, let's see if there's some budget cards in here. Here's some more of my extra cards. So I'm loving this conversation. We talked about Oko. But let's look at some other cards we have. Felwar Stone in a 5-color deck. It is great. Lotus Cobra, great for landfall. Dovin's Veto, great removal spell, especially because it can't be countered. Love this card. You can get this for about $5. Demonic Tutor, Everth of Plunder, the Bloodghast. We have a bunch of Shadowborn Apostles. I'm going to do an Athreos God of Passage deck. Oh, this card here, not a budget card, but so good in an artifact deck. Tell me what you know in the comments about Joyra, Weatherlight Captain. If you know about this card, you know how powerful this card is. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. Do you have any idea how good this is in the right deck? Like if you play a deck, say like with Dr. Madison Lee, say with Brea, say with, I mean, really any card, any deck that you got blue and red in that you're going to draw artifacts, this card is a monster because the card draw is going to be absolutely insane. Definitely put that in the deck if you have a chance. And in a lot of decks these days, there are so many legendary creatures. Like I have a Legendary Matters deck. This card is just a monster for card draw. Another one I love, Marvin Murderous Mimic. Marvin Murderous Mimic has all activated abilities of creatures you control that don't have the same name as this creature. In a Krenko deck, like a Goblin deck, this card is amazing. Another couple of crop rotations. I've been talking about that this episode. I mean, I'm going to show off some cards here. Emrakul, Ulamog, Wormcoil Engine. These are just all my extra cards. I'm just working on some deck building right now. Phyrexian Altar. Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. Great card in any green deck. Scrawling Crawler. Beautiful version of the Sapphire Medallion. Ooh, Dockside Extortionist and a Paradox Engine. Talk about nasty banned cards that I love, by the way. Biorhythm, Biorhythm, Biorhythm. Vandal Blast. We have another Dockside. We have a Hull Breacher. We have a Hull Breacher. We have a Hull Breacher. We have literally all the Tinkers. Love that card. I'll put it in any deck I can that has an artifact. Miro Commerce. Need that for my Merfolk deck. At the end of your turn, untap all Merfolk you control. Dramatic Reversal makes a great combo with the Isochron Scepter. So just some extra cards we have laying around. I am in the middle of deck building. I currently have 55 full Commander decks. I am working on getting to 100. That is my goal. I want 100 functioning Commander decks. And yes, they all exist in real time. I don't transfer cards to and from decks. On that note, let's go over one more deck just for fun. Speed through this pretty fast. This is my Kalia of the Vast deck. Swords to Plowshares. Kalia of the Vast. There we go. Obnixilis the Adversary. We have a Lightning Bolt. We have a Final Fortune. We have a Seething Song. Wrath of God. Chaos Warp. Great budget card. All right. The owner of target permanent shuffles into his or her library, then reveals the top card of his or her library. It's permanent. Put it on the battlefield. If somebody has like an Emrakul on the battlefield, this is always worth it. King, I did not add the Seething Song to the Dragon deck. I need another one, but I will. Dark Ritual, one of the greatest mana ramp cards of all time. If you don't think this card's good, you don't understand how to play Commander. Kolaghan's Command, great budget card again. Choose 2. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Target player discards a card. Destroy target artifact. Kolaghan's Command deals 2 damage to any target. Super useful in a game of Commander. Deadly Rollick, Vandal Blast, Pest Control, Terminate, Toxic Deluge, Gamble, Demonic Tutor. By the way, Gamble is absolutely awesome in a card with Graveyard Synergy because whether it's in your hand or your graveyard, you can make use to it. Demonic Tutor. Fire Covenant. Awesome card as well. As an additional cost to cast this spell, pay X life. Beholder's Disintegration Ray or Fire Covenant deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Steel Shaper's Gift. Go get yourself a piece of equipment. Indomitable Creativity, Brotherhood Regalia, Mithril Coat, Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves. Man, there are some great cards in this deck. Oh, wow. Okay, Brennan. You want to talk? Hopefully you're still here in King Axe. Is it Axe or Axel? I think it's King Axel. Do you want to talk about a salty card? Dark Steel Mutation. Enchant Creature. Enchanted Creature is an insect artifact creature with base power and toughness 0-1 and has indestructible and it loses all other abilities, card types, and creature types. So imagine you are playing against Kalia. Where is my Kalia? I lost it. Don't know where it is. I want to show you, though, how this works because I absolutely love this card. Oh, here we go. So someone casts Kalia onto the battlefield. You slap a Darksteel mutation on top of it. Kalia's done. And you probably can't remove Kalia. Like your nothing works. Like maybe you have a Swords to Plowshares that can exile, but it has indestructible. No removal spells are going to work. Like you might be done for the game. Darksteel Mutation is one of the most incredible value cards you can ever get. Like it does some real work. Real ones know what I'm talking about. Smothering Tithe, Abyssal Harvester. Here we go. We're getting into the creatures and some of the demons. Bloodthirster from Warhammer 40K. Dark Confident, another great budget card. There was a time this card peaked at like $50. Great card for card draw. Do not sleep on my Dark Confident. This deck's beautiful, by the way. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful deck. That card there. Let's talk about this. In today's meta, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know if I like that term. But the Mayhem Devil. People love their food tokens. People love their treasure tokens. People love their clue tokens. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. It's kind of like the anti-Mirkwood Bats. You want to sacrifice stuff? I am going to make you pay with the Mayhem Devil. Talk about a genuine budget card. And I'll bet you can have that card for under $1 right now. Let's look that up. What's a Mayhem Devil go for? Does anybody know? $0.99. Are you kidding me right now? 99 cents for this guy right here. We're going to give this guy a special seat at the table right now. The Mayhem Devil absolutely does work. People playing with treasures. People like their little food tokens or their clue tokens. Mayhem Devil absolutely 100% of the time teaches them a lesson. All right? Then we have a bunch of lands. So yeah, my Kalia deck's pretty fun. Ooh, we have a Caracas. It's just a great, great, great deck. But yeah, I love the Mayhem Devil. Absolutely love it. So, there we go. A Bobby Maximus live. Someone's knocking at my door, but I don't care. I'm going live. Do me a favor in the comments. Tell me what your favorite budget card is before we go. I would love to hear what your favorite budget card is. Love budget cards. Love hearing about them. Cards that do real work. Cards like the Darksteel Mutation. Cards like Narset. Cards like Mirkwood Bats. Cards like the Mayhem Devil. Favorites of mine. Love a really good budget card. And here's the thing I'll leave you with before I go. Usually expensive cards are pretty good. Like Demonic Tutor's $50 for a reason. Vampiric Tutor is $50 for a reason. The Astral Dragon, I think that's got to be like a $24 or $25 card right now. It is expensive for a reason. However, cards like that, Lord of the Third Path, that aren't worth a lot, Swords to Plowshares, cards that aren't worth a lot. This card, Pact of the Serpent, talk about a great budget card. Choose a creature type. Target player draws X cards and loses X life, where X is the number of creatures that control the chosen type. If I'm playing Kindred, it works for me. If you're playing Kindred, it can be very, very bad for you. Great card, by the way. Flame of Anur, a great instant. Terminate, love that removal spell, especially because someone can't regenerate their creatures. What else do I have? Ooh, look at these. Eldrazi Titans. Not budget, but whatever. That card. This card's great. Let's end the show talking about this right here. Nahiri the Harbinger. one of the best planeswalkers ever created, doesn't get the love or respect it deserves. I'll tell you that right now. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. You can do that right away for a +2. I love drawing cards in Commander. I love discarding cards to my graveyard, especially if I got some graveyard synergy type stuff. That's the first ability. The second ability that you can use right away: exile target enchantment, tapped artifact, or tapped creature. Say goodbye to somebody's Rhystic Study. Say goodbye to somebody's Smothering Tithe. Get rid of it. They tap their Soul Ring. Say goodbye to that card. They tap the One Ring. Say goodbye to the One Ring. Nahiri does real work in a deck. And then the final ability: search your library for an artifact or creature card. Put it onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. It gains haste. Return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So it acts as a tutor. And it's not that hard to get there. You can get there in a couple of turns. So you got removal, you got a tutor, you got some card draw. Like, this card belongs in any Boros Commander deck ever. And it's dirt cheap right now. So this has been fun. Thank you for spending some time with me. I hope you find this content useful. If there's any content you want me to cover on these lives, I am happy to. Put in the comments any topics you want me to cover. We can cover black, white, blue, green, red cards. We could talk about budget cards. We could talk about Simic. We could talk about Boros. We could talk about Dimir. Like, I am good to go. I have all kinds of stacks of cards everywhere in my office that we can look at, that we could talk about. We can go over some deck building. I've reviewed people's decks live on these things, so it's an absolute blast. I love Magic the Gathering. I love people in the Magic the Gathering community. Huge passion of mine for over 30 years, and it's something I love sharing with you. Again, do not sleep on my girl Nahiri, and I will see you for the next episode of Muscles and Magic the Gathering, and please engage. Help me bump this algorithm up. I just want to build a channel that celebrates the joy of this game with a lot of positivity and fun. So we will see you next time. The Muscles. Oh, Matt Gill can confirm deck techs are a blast. They are a blast. I do a lot of deck techs on my channel. Listen, I got 55 ready to unleash. Not ready. I'm still filming them. But there are a bunch coming up. Right now we got Giada. We got the Ur-Dragon. We got the Scarab God. We got Edgar Markov. We got Krenko. We got Lathril from the Woodland Realm. I just filmed my Marwyn deck. It's not up yet, but it's budget elves. Lord of the Rings deck is coming up. Like, we have a ton of decks with Dr. Madison Lee. Man, I have so many up right now. I think I have like 15 of them, but there are a lot more coming. You can see all my decks on my Mox field. It's Bobby Maximus's username. There are 55 decks up there right now. There's a 56th in the works for Muldrotha. But the plan is to do every single one of them. So I will have 56 decks up soon. Now, Niz Mizzet the Visionary. You have no maximum hand size. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards. It's a great card. Now, I do like, by the way, the other Niv Mizzet better. And that is Niv Mizzet the Firemind. Whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet the Firemind deals 1 damage to any target. You can tap it to draw a card. It's really, really good. The other Niv Mizzet that people really, really like is Niv Mizzet Perun, one of the greatest dragons ever created. This spell can't be countered flying. Whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet Perun deals 1 damage to any target. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. So a great card. But the Niv Mizzet the Visionary is another great card to build around. What you want to do with the Niv Mizzet the Visionary is you want to have a bunch of cards that do non-combat damage to opponents. So like those kind of cards that you can tap and you can ping for 1, ping for 2, ping for 3. You want to put a bunch of instants in here. Burn damage is really good in this deck. Things like a lightning bolt. Storm counts are great too. If you can replicate a lightning bolt, you can do a lot of damage and draw cards. So it can be pretty good. It looks like a really fun build. I'd actually love to build a deck around this card. Jennifer Boots says, love your content. Keep the deck videos coming. I really, really appreciate that. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Muscles and Magic the Gathering, for a lot of these shorts. I'm always just putting out great, great content. So thank you for spending some time with me. I really, really appreciate it. I should get going. I do have some fun to be had tonight. I have some deck tech that I want to engage in. Like I said, I'm working on my Moldrafa deck. That is going to be a blast. And yeah, thank you very much for the support. And we will see you the next time. Don't forget, get at me on Instagram. Get at me on TikTok. Make sure you subscribe. Give me lots of love in the comments. And I will see you for the next, I was going to say episode, but this isn't a podcast. I'll see you for the next live. I'll see you for the next deck tech.